Perfect. So now we are ready. And let me know when you can see my screen again, please.
Okay.
We can see it.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so let's get started. So hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here and be the host for this session, along with my colleague, Jose Zalevi. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Thank you to all participants, our speaker, Frank Abruzesi, and LPMN for hosting the PM Bistro webinar. This is our last webinar for 2021. And we really appreciate that you have set aside 1 hour from your busy schedule and have attended to this event. Our tonight topic is cybersecurity. Why have a cybersecurity strategy? This is the topic for tonight. This is how our session is organized for those already joined in the previous webinars. Know that this is the way that we had the structure for our PM Bistro. So we have an introduction, then an overview. We're going to have an icebreaker to get to know each other a little bit. Then we're going to start talking about the main topic of tonight, and then the Q&A session. So before to start, let me go through some of the housekeeping items. So as I mentioned before, the webinar will be recorded. Today's session is scheduled to last 1 hour, including the Q&A. Questions can be asked by opening the mic or posting on the chat box at any time. And slides and link to the recording of this presentation will be sent to your email. And also it will be posted on our PM Bistro group. So we encourage you to be part of the group if you already didn't do so. And this is, so if you can share the link, Jose, to the LinkedIn group for those who haven't registered yet. And at the end, we're gonna have a survey to provide feedback about our session. And then let me present the agenda for tonight. As I said, so we're gonna have an icebreaker that's gonna last around 10 minutes, and then our main topic around 25 minutes that will be presented by Frank, and our Q&A session, another 15 minutes, and the final part will be a wrap up, another 5 minutes. This is our agenda for tonight. And the objectives for this session is work from home, safe and securely, be aware of phishing scams, and accessing data securely. So this is our main learning points from tonight. And now let me introduce my colleague Jose first. So Jose is a CAPM and business analysis graduate from Brown College. Am I correct, Jose, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And in his training in project management and business analysis experience in sales and financial services as well. And he has been able to work in different countries such as Canada, Germany, and Turkey. And myself, Amanda de Cisneros. So I have a bachelor in industrial engineer, an MBA, and also a PMP. I have more than 10 years of experience delivering business and technology projects across different industries such as banking, airline, transportation, and now in a fintech. And now It's a pleasure for me to introduce our speaker for tonight is Frank. So Frank is the CEO and president of AlphaCore. He's married to his lovely wife, Carmela, has been married for 20 years right now. And he has two daughters, Haley and Sid. And he was graduated from University of Windsor. So I know from because both we live in Windsor, and we have attended to different networking events that has been run by Frank. Frank, as you can see here, he has extensive experience in cybersecurity field, but also he's very involved in the Windsor Essex community. So besides his role as a professional, so also recently he was appointed chair of the Build a Dream. Is a co-signer for the nonprofit application and registered charitable organization. And also Frank has support the community with across different nonprofit organizations, such as We Tech Alliance, and also St. Clair College, and also he's a mentor for Epicenter at the University of Windsor, and has award different honors and awards through his career. So he's been awarded Tech CEO 2019, Tech Mentor in 2017, Entrepreneur of the Year in 2012. So as you see, he's very active. Frank is very active in the community, and we thank you, Frank, to be here tonight and speak about this important topic, cybersecurity. So it's a pleasure to have you in this webinar. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here, Amanda. Thank you for that intro.
Perfect. So now is the time to have our icebreaker. So that activity will be conducted by Kusei. So
hi everyone. Thank you again for joining in, and thank you, Frank, for supporting PM Bistro. We appreciate your support. So this is our icebreak session, where we're going to split into smaller groups, and we are going to initiate our discussion. This warms up for our presentation, and it's good for knowing each other as well. So today's question is, do you think that cybersecurity threats have increased due to the COVID pandemic? So we are not too crowded today. Maybe we can be in the groups by 4-4 or 3-3-2. And Amanda will divide us into the groups. And first we can introduce ourselves, then give our take on this question, and continue the discussion like that. And thanks again, everyone, for joining us.
Perfect, Kusei. Let me, so how many rooms you said, Kusei? 2? Or how many?
Three or 2 would be fine.
Okay, perfect. So let me see. That's perfect. Okay, so we're gonna have around 5 to 10 minutes. You said, right, Kusei?
Exactly.
Okay, perfect. So enjoy. Hi, Radikas. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Looking forward to this session, though I'm a little late.
No worries. So you are just in time. So right now I just split into a small breakout rooms. I don't know if you want me to add you to one of the rooms. Radhika, is it okay for you?
Yes, please.
Okay, perfect. Let me assign to one of the rooms. So will be room 3. Hola Jaime, ¿estás ahí? Hola Jaime.
Hola Amanda, ¿cómo?
Todo muy bien, todo muy bien. Estamos ahorita en los breakout rooms. ¿Querés que te una a uno de ellos o no? Casi te perdí. ¿Querés que te una a uno de los breakout rooms, Jaime?
No.
¿No? Ok.
¿Cuánta gente hay?
Habemos 4, 7, 8, 9.
Un grupo pequeño hoy.
Sí, sí, sí. O sea, esperábamos alrededor de 20, 28 creo que fue lo que nos dijo Luis, pero solamente tenemos 9 en total, bueno, incluyéndome a mí, ¿no? Y a Cusey.
Bueno, pues vamos a ver.
Sí,
Y
pues
eso, el speaker sacando tiempo y todo, y para un grupo tan pequeño, pues vamos a ver.
Sí, una lástima, pero bueno, ni modo.
Sí, nos seguimos adelante. Este es el último de este año, ¿cierto? Ya el siguiente es en enero.
Ya, okay. Sí. ¿Cómo te está yendo por allá?
Bien, súper chévere. No, está espectacular por acá. El clima fantástico, la comida.
Me imagino.
Ha coincidido con varias reuniones familiares y todo. No, muy, muy rico.
Ay, qué bueno, me alegra mucho. Me alegra mucho. ¿Cuándo te regresas?
Yo regreso el 20. Todavía me quedan unos días acá.
Sí. Ay, eso va a ser duro, ¿no?
Sí, sí. Estaba diciendo que qué hacía para cancelar mi tiquete de regreso y quedarme por acá.
Ay. Sí, es que eso pasa, ¿no? Cuando uno se la está pasando de lo mejor por allá, la regresar es lo difícil.
Sí. Oye, ¿y tú cómo vas con tu trabajo?
Pues no sé, si supiste que me cambié
de
trabajo.
Para una compañía más pequeña, como que más con el rol de project manager.
Ajá, sí, es una fintech, entonces sí, todo bien, muy chévere, los proyectos están muy buenos. Así que a ver qué tal, a ver cómo va la cosa. O sea, muy ocupada, pero sí contenta. Así que todo va bien.
Ya.
Sí, sí, sí.
Me está dando mucho problema mi conexión de internet, Amanda.
Sí, eso estoy viendo, no te preocupes.
Ahora voy a estar ahí pendiente, o sea, si me conecto o desconecto, trato de unirme nuevamente.
Listo, súper.
Okay.
Hi, Jaime.
How are you?
Jaime, hola.
Hola, Liliana.
Hola. Yeah.
Okay, we are
Hola,
back.
Juan. Hey, Frank.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Hi,
Good.
welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Okay, so how was the conversation in the breakout rooms? Was good? It was.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't.
already kicked out the discussion. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Our discussion was very, very productive. My name is Carl Urban, and
Hi, Carl.
I had a chance to catch up. And just to let you know, I'm not PMP. I'm basically a person interested to know how your organization works, how meetings work, and so I'm basically observer, but I'm also very interested in security, because I was, quote, the victim, right? I was big. In other words, I was stupid. But anyway, I'm looking forward to nice meeting.
Oh, thank you so much, Carl. Thank you
Carl.
for attending, and it's great to see you here. So and so this is the one of the third session for the PM Bistro. So so probably by end of the event, so we can share some information about LPMN, our organization. So you can have what others activities we have in our organization. So you can become a member if you want. You can attend to other session, but we can share more details at the end. So
Yeah.
and also Frank Kusei, feel free, and for everybody as well, if you feel comfortable sharing your LinkedIn profile in order to build and grow your network. So feel free to do so. And so without further, so let me go to the main topic. So cybersecurity. So I pass it over to you. The floor is yours, Frank.
Wonderful. Thank you. I was just going to drop in my information there for you on LinkedIn. Thank you for the welcome and the introductory. I'll just drop in my LinkedIn right now. I'm on Twitter if anyone uses Twitter. Real simple. It's just my name. Just have to get the spelling right. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. So welcome, everyone. Actually, before I introduce myself, I would like to just get a good handle, since we have a nice small group and get to know each other. So we'll start with Felipe. Maybe just tell me what title, what role that you have, and what you're looking for in the cybersecurity, so I can kind of think about answering some questions as we go along. So maybe just introduce yourself real quick so I know who you are. Philip?
Yes.
Sorry.
So I'm a French engineer. I worked in the space industry for years before coming to Canada.
Okay.
Test engineer and test bench engineer. And well, I'm currently attending a PM program to try to have the PMP. And
Okay.
well, cybersecurity is very important. Well, I worked in a high level, in a big company which it was very important. There were some cyber attacks regularly, and while with the lockdown and working from home, it had become more and more difficult to work, and it's more easy. We are more easily hacked at home than in the company rooms, in fact.
Okay, thank you. I'm just taking some notes. And Liliana, hello, nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you, Frank.
Maybe just tell me maybe what your current career is and what you're looking for in cybersecurity.
Yeah, well, I'm in human resources and project management. I am certified in both professions, and I'm currently working as a consultant in an HR consulting firm. Cybersecurity and technology in general are very interesting to me. Okay. And I used to work in other consulting firms where I had to deal with assessment data. So assessment, personality tests of people, and those are very confidential. So when, the pandemic came and the lockdown, we had to work from home. There was not enough technology, provided by the company. So one of my concerns last year was, okay, what do we do? Do we allow people to, use their personal computers, to manipulate assessment data, which is very confidential. So being in HR, and I'm very, always very cautious about that. But yeah, like it's one of those things where you have to be careful and then be, educate the people all the time. Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said educate. That's good. Okay, thank you, Liliana. Next is Juan Calderon. Hello.
Yes, I am here. Hi, Frank. My role has been in the IT field for so many years, and recently, the last 8 years, I am IT auditor. And cybersecurity, I am close to the cybersecurity field. I like to do, sometimes I do audits. I do reviews related to that.
Yeah.
I sometimes find what the problems they have, but always like to be in the chattings and meetings related to cyber. I attended an event these last 2 days, CyberX event, but one thing is boring. Sometimes when you are listening, it's boring because the levels of cyber security that we have are very different, from the top level, like just students, to the level that is very technical. So moving all those steps is complex.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to know you, happy to meet you and all.
Yes.
And happy.
Likewise, happy to meet you too. And Carl.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, Carl. So you said you were a victim. What are you currently doing career-wise?
No, that was basically everybody is victim nowadays. So I'm saying I'm victim, jokingly. But I'm president of North York Project Management Toastmasters Club, and my basically objective here is to build bridges with LPMN. In other words, my interest is to know how organization operate, the structure, how we could work together. And by the way, I wish you could see me, but I'm on a computer which doesn't have a right now doesn't have a camera, so therefore you cannot see me. So that's the explanation for that.
We'll catch up to you the next virtual networking event. How's that sound?
Yeah. So basically, that's my objective. And cyber security obviously is a very good topic. Everybody is interested because everybody is interested to know how safe we are, right? And you are going to tell us how to do it. So that's my basically objective for tonight.
Wonderful. I see Jamie was on, and I don't see Jamie, but is Jamie still on?
I don't think so. So he had a couple of technical issues, so probably he dropped and come back later.
Okay. And then we met Dipali in the breakout room. She told me she's a project manager. And did you want to elaborate on anything about cybersecurity that you wanted to know about or interest you? And she might still be on a call. She had to make a phone call.
No, I'm here. Thank you, Frank. So I think cybersecurity is a huge area. So I would like to know actually what we are talking about today. My personal interest is in cloud security, since I'm working on the cloud projects right now. So if there are any more tips for enterprise users, for applications basically.
Wonderful. Well, thanks everyone. It's so nice to meet you. And we can begin. So this slide here, Amanda, because you welcomed me and I got to know them, and I really appreciate you. So I'm happy to be here tonight. And I always enjoy giving back to the community, as my bio said. The woman next to me in that photo is the lovely Carmela. I named her that a while back, so she doesn't like that. I hope she doesn't hear me. Down at the bottom, I just like to share that as an entrepreneur, I'm very open and vulnerable, and I'm never afraid to get my hands dirty. So that was one of those mud crawlers that we did. So Amanda, we can go to the next slide, please. So Alpha Core, just real quick, the actual job that I do, I'm CEO and president of a really cool IT company here in Windsor called Alpha Core Group. That was last February, just before COVID. We celebrated 25 years, one of the longest running IT companies in Windsor, Essex. There'll be 27 years coming up in February. And as you can see there, that's actually a shot of our mouse pad. So we do the IT services, the managed service provided, the digital marketing, social media, custom software, and websites. So just a nutshell on Alpha Core. We've been very honored and blessed in the 26 years with a number of different awards and accolades. Some stories on us. So if you look at one goal in your professional career is becoming the expert on the subject matter. And I'm really honored when the media reaches out to us and specifically asks for us to chime in on a story. So last Friday, the local radio station on the morning show reached out to me and asked to speak about cybersecurity on the health breach in Newfoundland, Labrador. So it was really exciting to be able to do that. And they gave me actually 8 minutes in this interview, and it was live. And as I shared earlier with Amanda and Kuzi, it's very, very difficult to fill space on the radio. So 8 minutes is a long time to talk, but I'm glad I have the gift of gab, so I'm blessed. We'll head over to the next slide, please. No, Amanda, you're muted, sorry. There's a question we're gonna ask.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I'm sorry about that. So I was on mute. So this is the first activity that we are gonna run. So Kusei, I don't know if you're able to share the
So now I'm gonna share the link of Mentimeter. We're gonna go into that, and then I'm gonna share the code for the activity. It's just basically type in the code, and you will open this, and you can type in your answers, and it simultaneously will appear in the screen. So if you can please open this link.
So we go to menti.com and we use that code there.
Exactly.
That is correct. Yeah.
The code is this.
Great.
www.menti.com. Yep.
This is the first time I've seen this tool in operation, so this is really neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Wonderful. I think those are all really good on the word cloud. So
Yeah, so this is good. Oh,
some more coming up.
more come up. Yeah.
Innovation. Yeah. Firewalls. Oh, very good.
Okay, so I guess we are good. So I don't. Oh, more comes up. Okay, that's good. I don't know if you want to make a comment here, Frank, or do you want me to run the next activity?
Well, I was going to say they're all really good. I'm not sure what the IM is. Everything else makes sense. Constant training, education, definitely. And then Pam, I'm not sure what that is either, but I think all of them hit home and define it. It's a huge subject. And like all security, cybersecurity is actually layers. So this really makes a lot of sense what you shared. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, we'll go on to the next slide, Amanda. That's great.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So if you can log into the for the next activity. So it's still in the Menti website, but we are gonna enter a different code this time.
So the question is, does your company have a cybersecurity strategy? Just keep it real simple. We're looking for a yes, no, or unsure.
I have a different question in my Menti with the code. Oh, the code is 4440. Oh, I use the
Yes.
Okay, so
So prior to the pandemic, I would say we had a smaller percentage that actually had a strategy in place. Within the last year, it definitely, our conversations have gone up. I don't have any actual stats, but I was just curious on the group here. So we have 2 yeses, one's not sure, and nobody said no, which today I feel that everyone should at least be talking about and doing something about it. So that's a good sign. All right. We can probably move
Okay.
on then if everyone's done entering their
Okay.
answers. Yeah, great. Thank you, everyone.
So let me go to the next one.
Yeah, so 2 and 1. Great. All right. 3 and 1. Well, that's better stats.
So Same code. So this is the next question. So you can use the same code.
Has your company experienced a cyber breach? So they're in the global picture. There's a cyber breach, a ransomware attack, specifically every 11 seconds, and that's just going to continue to shorten as we go on.
Now, I have a question. If
Yes,
you hear
Carl.
me, how do I vote? How do I participate in this thing? How do I? Where do I click?
So on the chat, we have the website, but I'm going to send it again. It's mentimeter.com. And after you enter, you are going to type the code. And the code is on the chat as well.
So I clicked on menti.com.
Correct.
And
so do you see a box to enter a code? It says that like type the code here on the top of the page.
No. And you know what? It's my computer. As I say, it doesn't even have a camera. I basically will just observe because I don't want to waste your time. You know, next time I'll be better prepared. Okay.
I don't know if you are Are you using Google Chrome or a different browser? Are you using Google Chrome or not?
I think it's Google, but again, this is an old computer. So
okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so just ignore me, okay? I'm just here to observe and.
But if you want, you can share your responses in the chat as well. So. Yeah, for sure. So.
Chat. Okay,
yeah,
here it is.
Yeah. So and Kusei can assist on that and provide your answer. No worries.
And click on Mentimeter, and there is a code 440-6520. 440. But please go ahead because I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
We'll continue. So we have two breaches, 2 no, and 1 is unsure.
Correct.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing all of that. We'll head back to maybe the slide deck.
Correct. Give me a second.
All right. So if there's time at the end, if the two want to talk about the breaches, we'd love to hear what happened, what I guess steps were taken. So I'm just gonna go through 18 months ago. We just kind of do this. We had to send our entire team home except 6 of us stayed in the office. I sent over 50 people home, 6 in the office. One thing that we had a challenge with is, technicians always could work and do remote work. However, even AlphaCore, we had to quickly pivot and come up with work from home policy. That was a big deal to help our clientele. So we helped our clients and a lot of new clients that came to us on how to get their workforce home, how to get the work from home policy. We only did critical on site because of the COVID, and then nobody could be in the building or in their home office when we went. And our remote service tickets went through the roof, and we had to come up with brand new protocols on how to take care of our clientele. So we'll move to the next slide. I just wanted to share that with you in terms of even us in the IT space, how we had the challenges. So we have to social distance. Everyone used the new normal. I dropped normal from my vocabulary. We kept talking about flatten the curve. And, it was tough, challenging time. And, it seems like the challenges keep changing and the cheese keeps moving, if you will. So we'll head over to the next slide. Get into a little more of the meat and potatoes for you. There's a sample home office that you try to make do and set up. So we went to a lot of different interesting places and try to help people with ergonomics, right height of the keyboard. If you look at that, that's a challenging setup, upside down little surfboard there. So I just wanted to show that kind of like for some humor. Thanks, Amanda. So technology and trends. One thing that came out of the gate last year is OpenText closed half its offices permanently, is what they stated, went on record. And then a whole bunch of other large companies announced it. Then they come up with flex hours. That's one of our questions we're going to have coming up. But the organization, especially Carl, president of a company, anyone else that owns a company in management, who owns the equipment? Does the company? Does the employee? Do I have a combination of a personal phone and a company laptop? So these are things we needed to deal with when it came to security. What's the internet speeds at home? Are things getting timed out? How do we access and back up our data? Do I save it on my hard drive at home? How do I access the company computers? And somebody mentioned cloud. Dipali mentioned cloud. So how do I get my data into the cloud? How do I do it secure? We all know about the Zoom bombing. So video conferencing opened up a lot of doors and a lot of threats there that had a lot of embarrassing things going on, right? The one politician that was doing, I guess he was changing his outfit from running. So he was on camera not knowing it. At another council meeting, there was someone, their daughter set it up as a cat. So he came up on screen as a cat and couldn't take it off. So these are embarrassing moments in terms of, other type of cybersecurity on how to protect ourselves. And it's all about the brand. So of course we had virtual, and everyone got virtual fatigue. I once had 9 virtual meetings in one day. I don't recommend it. I try to maximize it 4. So, and of course the project. So we're planning things. We're using sandbox collaborative tools that we're sharing. So this entire list here, every organization had to figure out and still has to continue to figure out, how do I keep all of this safe and secure? So we'll head over to the next slide.
I guess Luis has the
Question?
his hand raised. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question. Hi there, Frank. I have a question talking about what you were mentioning about security. If the company has the option of saving things like in the local drive or in the cloud, which one will be considered safer? I know that companies obviously have the option of us doing any, it's optional obviously, but which one will be considered safer?
So no place is safe, yet every place can be safe. So whether you save it on-prem, in the cloud, on the OneDrive, there's different levels of security, if you will. We look at the organization. What's the size of the organization? What's the revenue like? What's the investment in technology? And what part of that technology budget should be put into cyber? The false pretense, a lot of us feel, if I put it in the cloud, I'm safe. If I use Microsoft Office 365 in the cloud, I'm safe. I'm here to tell you, you're not safe. So you still need protection. You still need an anti-spam, an antivirus. You'll need a backup of some sort. So Capital One is a very, very large financial institution, and 2.5 years ago, they were breached. Huge American with their Visa, let's say their credit cards. So my business partner ended up on the dark web, and we were questioning, how did he end up on the dark web? Well, he has a Capital One credit card for the corporate when we do some US purchases. The third party that hosts the data for Capital One was breached. And therefore, his credentials that he uses when he logs into his Capital One online account was breached. And it's on the dark web. If you don't know the dark web needs a special set of tools to get on. It's completely anonymous, non-traceable. And so your credentials, when they're leaked, they're thrown out there and people buy them. So I can go on there, buy your credentials, and start seeing if I can do any damage. And that's a serious issue. So when we're talking about backing up, we're talking about using the cloud. Capital One's a great, huge organization. They have a great cybersecurity strategy. However, what's the third party that's backing up their data? What's their strategy? What's their due diligence? So at the time this happened, I don't think anyone really took a look at it saying, they're a third party, they're well respected, they have high security. I don't even know who they are at this point. But the point being, we need to follow through and find out where this data is going, who's storing it, what protection is there, what's the business continuity plan. That's the biggest piece. But Louis, to answer your question, I would ask, how secure is the data where I'm sending it to, and how's it being backed up? If I was to lose that data, how can I retrieve it? But those are some really good questions to ask. So I hope that answers your question.
Yep. Thank you so much, Ron.
No problem. So Amanda will do the question, the poll.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Then
Yep.
let me back to this.
So we have that one, the cyber Azure cyber breach. We have 2, 2, and 1. Yeah.
Give me a second. So I guess no, sorry about that.
Let's see by your description, word cloud. That's at the end.
Sorry, for some reason, this is
That's
like
okay.
has got crazy.
Okay.
Give me a second. So
Yeah, Amanda prepared all of this, and I know I gave her a lot of questions, but it was well organized in rehearsal. And this is what happens when we go live. There we go.
okay,
What is-
here
That's
is
the one.
sorry. Okay, so I guess it's not the one, right? Because I
Exactly.
okay,
So
perfect.
again, the site and the code is on the chat.
Okay, so we have some answers already. What is the working model that your company has in place? Does your company work from home, work from the office, or the hybrid? Thanks, Amanda, for setting that up.
No problem.
No problem. So we have 5 answers, which I think we're getting everyone's answer. So 3 are
Okay.
hybrid. There's no surprise there. So 2 working from home, 1 working from the office. So I personally, the 20 months, have been in the office except for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I took a 1 week vacation, sort of. And this is my second sort of week vacation. All right. I think hybrid and flex hours are going to continue. So thank you for that. That makes sense. All right. So
Do you want me to go to the next one?
Sure. Let's do the next one and get that one. Get the input. Do you work set hours and days, or do you work flex hours and days? So just so you know, at Alpha Core, I've run a team meeting every Friday at 4:30 from January till end of August after Labor Day weekend. So every Friday at 4:30, I'd get the entire team in the virtual setting. And several times I said, we're here to take care of you. You can work in the office, you can work at home, you can work at both, you can work flex hours. So we made it very flexible. So 3 flex hours, 2 set hours and days. I think we're going to see that trend continue, and the hybrid model is going to continue. I have found my team, because of VoIP phones, we're able to contact them, but with extension and with cell phones, everyone was readily available. It seemed like more and more they went to work earlier since they had no drive time. Not that there's a lot of drive time in Windsor, but you know, you're getting up, you're getting ready, and you're at your home office desk ready to go. That makes sense. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your input. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna go through with your home office, right? So your internet, one word of caution is we have a lot of Wi-Fi. I would not give out my Wi-Fi to anyone visiting. I've split my home up into the family and guests, and I do change the guest password. At Alpha Core, it's changed daily, which is annoying when we used to have guests coming in, but it's a day-to-day. All your devices, make sure we're doing firmware update. And your firewalls need to have firmware updates. So Amanda, we can go ahead to the next slide. Ransomware, I want to talk about this. When you get an email, you need to really be careful and read the email. This is where the majority of cybersecurity threats come in the door. So I have a door that's locked. I have a deadbolt on it. Someone knocks on the door and I open it and says, "Hi, I am Carl Urban. I'm the president of the company. Can you go out and buy some gift cards with your own personal card and go ahead and build a company, and the CFO will take care of you?" So it sounds kind of silly in the real physical world. Well, that's the email that just came through. I'm an employee and I'm like, "Oh, Carl sent me an email. Awesome. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to buy 100 gift cards for 100 top clients. I'm going to send the bill into accounting." And Carl's going to say, "I didn't authorize this." The CFO is going to go, "I know nothing about this." So then they call in, your IT team, they call in the Alpha Cores of the world. And we're like, well, why would you do this? Does the president normally ask you to do this? And you look at the email and it's from, some scam artist at gmail.com, but it doesn't say it. It says, I'm picking on Carl Urban, right? So be very, very careful, because the majority happens on Sunday, but it never happened on Sunday, because what happens is most people don't work Sundays. So then you come in Monday morning, you're down and out. So you start off the week with ransomware, but it actually happened 60, 90, 120 days ago. There's a lot of scams with COVID, asking for money. Call the organization direct. Don't call the number they give you. So if anyone's looking for strategies, there's phishing strategies that you can put in place to test your employees. We run that for a lot of our companies. We're actually doing it for our own company. So be very careful with that. How are we doing for time here? In business continuity, this is an area that requires management, ownership, the stakeholders to put together a plan. What happens if I have ransomware? What happens if my data gets destroyed? And make sure that we have looked into cyber security insurance. So Amanda, we'll go to the next slide. I know we're running on time. Sorry about that, everyone. It's my fault. So let's see if there's any, let's go to the question and answer so we can cater it to you, because I just wanted to give you the high level. And if we can, I think that'd be good.
Okay, so if we can start the Q&A session. We have a couple of questions, but I'm gonna combine them. So let's think that I'm a business owner and my company has an average IT network, but I'm not sure about the security of my data of the company or my complete IT system. And I am reaching out to Alpha Core. So what is the services or the process that you're following to make me sure that first I'm going to be protected to malware infection, or if it happens, we will bounce back closely, like soon, and we will be able to operate like as before. And to make this period shorter, what can we do for these situations?
Thanks. So a good starting point is we have a discussion with all the stakeholders. The challenge in our industry is we always bring the IT person in to own this. The management, the ownership has to be involved in it. This is part of the business plan. So if it's not part of your business plan, we're going to fail building a cybersecurity strategy, unless you're a very large corporation that has a bona fide CTO, for example, a chief technology officer or a chief security technology officer. But what we would do is a vulnerability scan. We would come in and we would put a monitoring device for 3 to 4 days into your environment, and we would know your environment inside and out. And we would do a gaps analysis. We would make a presentation to tell you, here are the gaps. These are critical. These are high. These are low. And we put together a whole roadmap for you per month, per quarter, and budget. So there's planning. And this vulnerability assessment should be done once a year minimum. Once you've plugged the holes, we would run it a second time. Others, we would coach your IT team on some things to do. We would educate your team as well. So that's a good starting point, is at least building a strategy and keeping it up to date. There's no simple answer. And we can only protect 85%. The other 15% is going to be on the end user for actually reading the email address to make sure it's from the person it came from, unfortunately.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for that.
Frank, I have a question. So what is the main difference between penetration test and vulnerability test?
So a pen test is a penetration test is usually just the outside. You go and you check out ports that are open, and you need to verify and justify why ports are open. So a lot of corporations, like an area, we've got manufacturing and agriculture. So in those areas, they have a third parties that are trusted vendors inside, suppliers, and they have specific ports open. So those we would monitor closely. Vulnerability is the entire sweep of the entire organization. So now I have a camera in the warehouse, an IP camera. Well, that's usually wide open. So we have to put together a strategy on how to close all those, how to secure the IP addresses, get the proper routers and switches in place, get switch monitoring devices so we can monitor suspicious activity. So vulnerability is a big one right now. We do a network assessment complementary to all our clients up to a certain size, where we get a good lay of the land and do more of a architectural of the technical side of it and identify some gaps. And then there's a project fee to do an actual vulnerability would be the best starting point assessment to really find out. And normally it's the firewall that either needs to be updated and replaced. You need the VLAN, because when I walk in off the street, I can hop on your wireless, which is tied to your network, and you don't want that, right? So we want to separate it. That's a good question, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we have time for a last short question. And so if when we're thinking about average companies, and in case of a malware infection has happened, so what is the approach is like? Having already plans, prepared plans to follow that path, or we're approaching to these in a more agile way, where we iterate solutions when these things happen, and we try to solve it and have feedback, and if it's working or not, and like iterating like that, or just following a plan that was like prepared before.
So following a plan is always best, right? We have what's called a situation room. A large company would have to do a press conference, go public and state what happened. If you need a plan, so the cyber insurance companies help you, because there's a lot of information they're going to require. The underwriter from the insurance company, you get the accounting, legal, and forensic, plus the IT. So all of us have a role to play. Internal IT, your third-party IT trusted advisor like us. But following a plan, it's a set of manuals. What do we do? What's a contingency plan? So I would look at it in the traditional world and say, if I was to drive into my office and my building had disappeared overnight for whatever reason, fire, flood, hurricane, you name it, whatever, it's gone. What's my plan as the president of Alpha Core to be operational if that were to happen? So it's the same thing with cybersecurity. I need to go somewhere. I need to bring the team somewhere. I need to know what to do, how to bring things up and running. If it's in the cloud, how do I access it now that all my office computers are locked down? So these are things that you can put in an emergency planning manual. This is why it's more of a business conversation, as opposed to, it's not just IT. IT plays a role, obviously, but stakeholders, that's what I always say. If I can leave you with this, what do the stakeholders expect you to do as a due diligence? And I'm going to share with you, we work with so many companies. Owners and managers will blame the IT department and IT company. The IT department and IT company don't own this. And it's always resources. There's no budget, is what we always hear, to put a proper cybersecurity strategy in place. So we have some gaps that we have to identify with ownership and management to get them to understand what needs to be done. They'll spend $1 million on the machine in the shop, but they won't spend, 5 or 10 grand on a vulnerability assessment, and then, 10, 20, 50 grand, whatever it is, to plug the holes. So this is a challenge we're facing today. And the end user, unfortunately, we're all targeted victims, was a good word, and it's random. So anyone can be hit at any time. So you need to really slow down to go fast and really read and pay attention to what you're opening and doing. If I may, the DJ on the radio station sent me a message in Messenger asking to be on the radio the next morning. Before I answered it, I actually went to Facebook, one, to make sure that the profile he sent me is the current profile that I'm friends with. Then I checked his activity to make sure he wasn't hacked before I answered his Facebook Messenger, just because I didn't know if I was being set up. I didn't know if it was really him, because last time he texted me, so this seemed out of sorts for me. So then I sent a quick text as well. Again, you have to be a little bit guarded up. And so Security is layers and it's inconvenience. We didn't talk about dual factor. That's another really critical piece to really help. So for those of you building your cybersecurity strategy, do you know when you go to your banking app, it'll send you a code to your text? So that's a dual factor. So I've logged in with my credentials and then it sends me another digit. So even in the morning when I'm doing my morning prep, I go into my Alpha Core program that's secured in the cloud. It sends me a text on my phone. If I don't have my phone on me, if I don't enter that 6-digit code, I can't even get in my own program. So that's to prevent, people that are hacking. So they have to know my credentials and steal my phone or hack my phone as well.
Thanks a lot for the detailed answer. And I think we hit the time today we have. So we can go to the wrap up part if you like, Amanda.
Okay, perfect. So I don't know, Frank, if you have like a final comment just to wrap up your part. So something that you want to add?
Sure. So this is a huge conversation, right? We can't get it done in 1 hour. So I just wanted to kind of give you some highlights. A lot of us are in the same position where companies are struggling on what to do, how to do it, how to protect ourselves. So hopefully you've come away with at least 1 or 2 things that you can do immediately. But again, I think business needs to slow down on this conversation, invest the time on it, and really thoroughly think it through. And our guard has to be up. Most of us, majority of us, I think almost everybody, we're open, honest people, making us very vulnerable to hackers, unfortunately, because we do care. We want to help each other. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frank. No, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us tonight. And first of all, thank you, Frank, for taking the time to share that information around cybersecurity. We know that it's a very important topic, and we encourage people that we know that probably we not cover everything that we want because of the time. But however, as you know, feel free to reach out to us through our PM Bistro group. So we are gonna add the link on the chat, so you will be able to join, and as well, so you can visit our LPMN website as well to know a little bit more about our organization. And so now you have also our LinkedIn profile as well, so you can reach out to Frank and to have further questions, and also in the PM Bistro group, so you can leave your question and we're gonna try to answer those questions that you may have as well. And as I mentioned at the beginning, so you will receive this material in your email as well. We're gonna share also in the PM Bistro group. This is our last session for 2021. Stay tuned for the next cycle in 2022. And also we appreciate that if you can help us to answer a very quick survey, so just to know how we did it and how we can improve for next session as well. Thank you very much for your time, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, and take care.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good evening.
Bye.
Good evening.